That's a really tough nut to crack that just came up. The Christian Democratic Union is once again campaigning at the expense of the Social Democratic Party, and they're totally freaking out. Wolfgang Bosbach is now admitting it. 500 million euros are going abroad for child benefits just like that, while the children have never even set foot on German soil. That's just, I have to say, perverse, and the German taxpayer has to pay for it. And please, before we get into this video, please keep that in mind. The Christian Democratic Union has absolutely no interest in ending all of this. That's just cheap election campaign propaganda.
The Christian Democratic Union is meeting in Stuttgart for a party conference. That's an interesting event. For one thing, because former Chancellor Merkel has announced she will attend.
Yes, that's the touch of conservative politics that has come out, especially with regard to fossil fuels. Friedrich Merz has opposed this and says we need fossil fuels again. And soon Angela Merkel will come around the corner and nip the whole thing in the bud. My opinion, I don't know how you see it. Merkel should actually be kicked out. Then the Social Democratic Party can take her in, just like some politicians from the alliance Sahra Wagenknecht. And now I'll show you campaign propaganda on top of it. What's being brought up again here?
Please. It gives the impression that Moses brought it down with the 10 Commandments and you can't change anything about it.
Yes, exactly. With the Christian Democratic Union, they say Angela Merkel was brought along by Moses. Let me tell you something. By the way, if there were a shift to the right where they would talk to all parties, then they would lose 30% of Christian Democratic Union members and they wouldn't have a stable majority in the Bundesrat anymore. This has just been confirmed by an internal letter from the Christian Democratic Union, and that's exactly why Angela Merkel comes and will tell Friedrich Merz once again, we need immigration. We absolutely have to pay people much, much more citizens' allowance and social benefits in the European Union. And in the end, we're not supposed to make such a fuss if we just lose our lives on these streets.
On the other hand, because the union has to solve acute problems, the reform turbo hasn't kicked in yet.
The reform turbo was nipped in the bud when, among others, a bearable boss stood up in front of the treasurer on live camera and simply laughed at and denounced the employers in this country. That should be mentioned. And then she even received support from the left liberal wing of the Christian Democratic Union. After all, you can't treat workers like that. So where am I actually living these days? Yes, our gas storage facilities that we have here are so critical. And after the leak that I released yesterday, it was a wealthy person who prevented new gas from being purchased. And yes, I just have to say it like this. We still get the majority of our oil and gas. I also covered that in the video yesterday. From Russia and the United States of America, exactly those we are so strongly opposing. And yes, the Azerbaijan connection, it's back in power in the government. Feel free to watch the video again. I'll link it again at the end.
The social systems are groaning, the debt is weighing down, and people are quite frustrated. And you do wonder whether this cozy relationship with the coalition partner will continue like this.
Exactly, companies in Germany are no longer willing to invest. The smart ones have left. We see this again and again, especially in the social media sector. People are simply fleeing from Germany because they are no longer willing to go along with this Social Democratic Party package. They are simply building their future in other countries, sometimes even in Eastern European countries, and I told you, please forgive me. This weekend, there will probably be some promotional videos where I show where I am currently investing my money. And I really have to tell you, I'm getting up to 15% interest in some cases in Eastern European countries. Yes, I really just have to say it like this. Yes, because those are more stable countries than Germany.
I'm a Bosnian in Cologne who collects 7,250 euros in child benefits and social welfare every month for his wife and his 8 children.
Let me ask you directly, have you ever earned more than 5,000 euros a month? For me, that's been a very, very, very long time ago, I'll be honest. But to be fair, they basically just dropped a hammer on my business model. So thank you, Habeck, for ruining me back then so that I can even make these videos now. But that's in Germany. If you want to earn more than 5,000 euros, then I have to tell you how it really is. Either you're a petty criminal, then of course it's possible, or you have a damn good job. And there are very few of those. Or, for example, you own a company, you're a business owner, or you have a very, very high position there. Otherwise, it's just not possible. And he just gets that from the German taxpayer, simply because he brought a few children into the world. Hey, that's just pathetic. I don't know what you think about that, but personally, it really gets me worked up again.
What I especially think is that it's about time to speak plainly.
Yeah, now in this super election year, people are finally speaking plainly. People are being informed once again that we have some really big problems. And now people are supposed to believe the Christian Democratic Union again, so that afterwards they can basically lie to us again, right? Mr. Busbach, can you explain that to us? But people don't have any trust anymore. Yesterday I saw a statement saying that about 60% are dissatisfied with the Trump administration. Hey, can I bring you into the truth or into reality for just a moment? 80% here in Germany are absolutely dissatisfied with this federal government and want new elections. Yeah, and nobody does anything about it either. The Christian Democratic Union doesn't come along and pour us some Rhine wine either. No, they lie to us only to break all their campaign promises after the election. And just telling people here, don't make such a fuss, we're going to restrict you even more. And if you don't agree with that, we'll just monitor your chats. And to make sure the children can't be indoctrinated, we just impose a social media ban and sometimes push it through with comedians. That really makes me sick. But there will be another video about that later.
Many people don't do that anymore because they're afraid of being automatically labeled as right-wing when it comes to these topics.
I'm going to tell you something very personal about myself now. Yes, I've started a new company that deals with AI technology. Unlike our government, which just wants to muzzle people. That's also why I have the videos that I couldn't publish in the last video. Instead, these really help people here. Because, let's be honest, what alternative do we have, right? Do you want to hire people here who don't even speak German anymore? Or do you want to let some machines work here because you know exactly? Either you go broke, but in any case, that's not what today is about. The fact is, no matter which of my business partners from the past I contact, they all tell you up front, yes, we'll help you rebuild the company. And the moment they actually want to take a stand, no, I can't help you with that, my clients. Well, I mean, I'm not that good with AI. You can explain everything you're doing to me if you want, but I simply can't help you. Why? Because basically, you're always put in the right-wing corner by everyone. You say, we have problems here in Germany, the economy is collapsing. We really have to, and I have to say it like this, we have to switch to machines because we can't get any skilled workers anymore, they're leaving. And because I'm not willing to hire any diverse people or anything like that, you're pushed into the right-wing corner. But let's be honest, if a high-say customer manager answers the phone to talk to a customer, they basically wouldn't buy from me. That's so extremely damaging to business here in Germany because people don't understand it. And if someone with broken German calls you, that might work at Amazon or something like that because they're extremely cheap, but not with you. If you're trying to save the middle class, then.
By now, we're over 500 million euros, over 500. All of this has to be collected from the earnings of the German taxpayers.
500 million euros go abroad as child benefits. Let me tell you something. If you put those 500 million euros into the German economy right here, we would have far fewer problems because we could relieve the burden on the middle class. But we can't do that because we pay some of that money abroad to social fraudsters. And I really have to say, especially in Eastern Europe, the economy is booming. They only take out loans that they can pay back absolutely safely and securely. It's just absolute madness. I really have to tell you, that's how it is. But about that, as I said, there will probably be a really awesome video coming this weekend. And I really have to say, I made the last video 6 months ago, tested it for you, and checked how it behaves. And I really have to say, hey, if I have a bit of extra cash, I put it right in there, really get my interest out, and I'm extremely happy about it. But more about that this weekend. But it just can't be that here in Germany we're subsidizing other companies, other startups with almost 500 million euros of taxpayers' money, right? So that they can grow over there. And in the end, the German taxpayer gets nothing out of it. A nice round number, and that's zero. And the Christian Democratic Union is still going along with it, and they're even supporting it, and they definitely won't change anything, not even if they win with an absolute majority. It's nonsense to believe something like that.